Good morning. Good morning. Happy Mommy Mondays. You hear Ava in the background. She said, yeah. Oh, I'm excited to be here. You guys are in for a treat this morning. If you are new to Mommy Mondays, welcome. It's a community of mothers coming together to encourage one another. Let me make that correction, moms to be. Even if you're not a mom, but you say, okay, in the future, I might want to be a mom. This is a great place. For you to start, as well as just encouraging one another to take care of ourselves as women. And if you're returning, welcome back. It is so good to just watch this community grow and hear from each and every one of you. Today, we are talking about holistic living and trusting our bodies. And I could not think of anybody better to talk to than Audrey Jones. Audrey is definitely someone you want to know, someone you want to connect with. She's a mom. She is a wife. She's a business owner. She works full time and she does it all with such joy and grace. And so when you listen in today's conversation, I want you to listen in on the benefits of taking care of yourself from inside out, all around. And I'm also wanting you to remember that Audrey is one of those people that you can keep it real with, which is good. We need more people like that. She's an amazing support. She's an encouragement to others, a huge advocate for overall well-being, and you're going to hear passion and the love in her. So without further ado, I introduce to you Miss Audrey
Good
Jones.
morning, Audrey. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Good morning, Kia. I am doing great. And first, before we even get started, I want to say congratulations to you for doing such a great job with Mommy Mondays. I am super proud of you. You are giving women exactly what they need. And I love how raw and real you make it. So my hat goes off to you. Great job.
You can't start us off with making me cry. Okay? Well, we're not going to. You guys, this is Audrey. We met such a beautiful soul. We met, I don't know how many years ago, but we went to the same church, and our
Uh-huh.
church had us cycle through cleaning the church. And so we were paired up, and you guys, something that would probably take us, what, like an hour or two, took us hours because we were just talking, loving life, giggling, making each other laugh.
Oh my gosh.
And I so just appreciate who you are. And the one thing, you guys, we connected on, which is why I have her on today. Um, one of the many reasons I have her on today, we connected on the difficulty of conceiving, of getting pregnant. For some of you guys know, it took me a while and it was a hard journey, as I'm sure it has been with many of you. But Audrey has been right there with us. And so, Audrey, when we're talking about holistic living and alternative methods, I really love how you even word that, because I think as women, we have, especially if we had difficulty conceiving, we have this kind of distrust of our body. And I don't feel like society really encourages us to trust our bodies, to do what it's
Mhm.
supposed to do. What made you, given your history, what made you get into choosing the holistic path and educating others on what that is? What that is?
Yeah, well, the thing is, okay, first I want to say that we've known each other since 2011, so it's been a very long time.
2011. Okay.
And yeah, and we've had some great times, and I miss you so much. I honestly wish that we can do this interview in person together so I could just give you a big hug. I miss those hugs. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because I just love you so much.
I
In
love you
regards to
too.
holistic is, just treating the whole body. You know, I really been into it my whole life. My mom, she was really into, eating right, taking care of your body. And I think just growing up, it became something that was natural for me and just part of my life. And as I got older, of course, when we're kids, they say, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables. We don't want to eat our vegetables, right? So just growing up, it was just something natural for me. I really was never a big meat eater. Oh, I made you cry. I'm sorry.
Oh
I
no,
was never a big meat eater anyway. But that's how it evolved. That's how it started. So this is nothing new for me. I've always enjoyed helping other people in regards to being healthy. I mean, I've always worked out, and it just started to evolve. Now, how I started my company, A Healthy You Today, is when my son was born. Before him, I was still following like natural ways of living, of natural ways of eating, getting back into all the fruits and vegetables, and just starting to grow my own food. So when we talk about the whole body, it's mentally, it's physically, it's everything when you talk about being holistic. And when you remove the chemicals from your body, that's when you're going to start feeling a lot better about yourself. But with my son, when he was 3 years old, I started giving him elderberry, and he rarely got sick. When they're in daycare, they're around a lot of kids, and those little germs and everything, they can catch any and everything. And that's not always a bad thing because it helps to build their system when they're young. But I didn't want him to be sick all the time, so I would give him elderberry. Now, as time went on, I started, taking sea moss. So I started making my own capsules. And it was just, first off, just keeping my family healthy. All right. So I would give it to my husband. I would do smoothies, and I'll put sea moss in my son's smoothies, and he would be so excited. Yay, healthy meals. I'm like, you just don't know what's in this stuff. Vegetables and sea moss. And it was just so funny. He'd just be so excited. He hear that blender going, yay, yay, yay. I'm like, yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah, so you do what you need to do to help your kids be healthy, but it's also how you raise them too. I raised him eating vegetables, so he was used to that taste. He was used to that texture. I would rarely give him candy. Now he's a little older. He gets some treats and things like that, but it's a foundation that you lay for not just your kids but for yourself too, because you want to be the best you, and you can't be the best you for your kids if you're not healthy. So that's why I talk a lot about being a healthy you, because in order for you to function, you have to be able to sustain yourself. And how do you do that? By eating the right foods. And I talked about it before, living foods. When you cook foods, you're killing a lot of the nutrients. But when you eat it raw, or you just, steam it, you're getting those vegetables and those minerals that your body needs. So, I started doing sea moss capsules. I started doing elderberry capsules, detoxing. I mean, we always wash the outsides of our body, but how often do you clean the inside? That's where
Yeah.
all the diseases stem from. So if you're not even eliminating going to the bathroom like you're supposed to, what goes in should come out. If you're not, and it's in your intestines, that's when you start getting a
Mm.
lot of disorders. That's when you start getting sick. So it has to find a way to come out. These toxins have to come out of your body. So that's when you start seeing people with pimples and acne, because it's trying to find a way to escape from your body. So you should be eliminating. How much water are you drinking? I mean, I just love what I do, just educating people. But, when COVID, I couldn't keep elderly. People found out that I had it, because again, I was giving it to my son since he was 3. He said, well, he just turned 8 on Christmas, but we've been doing it for a long time. And so I couldn't even keep elderberry. But then I started educating people about sea moss. Sea moss, our body needs 102 minerals. Sea moss gives you 92 of those minerals. I take sea moss and elderberry every day. And what I love about it is that, people, when they get older, they start feeling, pain in their joints. And, elderberry, I mean, the sea moss helps. It gives you the minerals to help with your joints. People talk about losing weight, so sea moss helps you sustain weight. But you have to do what you need to do too, as far as eating properly. exercising. So it really, to answer your question, it stems back from my childhood. I mean, I grew in this lifestyle, but I just got better as time went on. And then wanting to help other people. Even on my job years ago, a lady had started a little group with called Wow Women Overcoming Weight. And when I found out, I was like, oh my gosh, I can help you with that. And I became an advocate for the group, and I would send them tips. I would send them ideas. I would tell them what they need to do. And I just loved it. And, so it just evolved. I said, I need to just be able to help as many people as I possibly can, but on what you need. Because I had people even calling me saying, do you have something for X, Y, and Z? And I'm part of like organizations. This is not something that I just do. I'm part of organizations. I'm certified. I'm a certified herbalist, certified nutritionist, and life coach. So I put my, heart into this. And then I give them what they need. And they're like, oh my God, this is great. I mean, if you go on my website, you'll read some of the testimonials. But I just love what I do. I love helping people, and I want people to be healthy, because if we want to live a long life, and especially mommies, I want to see my child when he gets older, right? You want to see your babies when they get older. But how can we help them if we're not helping ourselves? So you have to be the best you can possibly be, and healthy. So many mommies talk about they're tired, they don't have the energy. And let's not just talk about mommies, but daddies too. Men need
Yeah.
help as well. So let's get them healthy. Let's give them the energy that they need to be able to run around with these kids. Guess what? I only have one, so I'm his playmate. And so I need as much energy as I possibly can to keep up with him. So yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's a mindset too. So you talk about holistic, right? It's a
Yeah.
mindset too. You have to be mentally ready to give your body what it needs.
All of that. All of that. You guys, oh my, Audrey said that so well, and you said so much that connected so many dots. I know for me, but so many different people, because I mean, we're starting the new year. A lot of people want to say, this is going to be the best me. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to focus on me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that you got that one aspect, but okay, hey, we've done that many years before. We've done that
Yeah,
many times
yeah,
before. What's going to be different this time? And then we've also learned this is not a quick fix. This is a
that's right.
lifestyle. And so
Lifestyle
I've been
change.
exactly. So when we're saying holistic, we're not talking about, just going out here and eating the roots off of everything. We're talking about a whole approach, starting with your mental. You have to have that mindset,
Mm-hmm.
like this is my
Yes,
way of living now, and then everything else will flow from that. The other thing
that's
that you
right.
said is so true, that as parents, we need to remind ourselves we cannot be what we need for our children if we're not doing what we need for ourselves, because really all we're doing is making many, many us. So if they're
That's
not
right.
watching us eat properly, then they're not going to eat properly. If we're not taking care of ourselves, then guess what? Then you're also reminding us, because I hear so many people, I'm about to detox. I'm about to get detox this tea. I'm about to do, and it's so they think about it as so they can lose weight. But detoxing is
Uh,
getting those chemicals out of your body.
yes,
Pooping, spelling how you
yes,
said it. That's
yes,
and I never thought about it like that. You know what I
yes.
mean? Because using the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom can be inconvenient, and for many of us as moms, somebody keeps coming on the door, so we don't get to, expel all we need to expel. But it's like, look, I got to get this out
You
because
got
this
to
is
get it
part of my
out.
body's natural. So I'm
Yes.
loving all of that, and then also too, when you're talking about passion, your heart. This
Mm-hmm.
is that doesn't stop just because you become a
Oh,
mom.
I love it. I love it. No, because then when you're a mom, it's even more important, because now you want to be healthy. You want your child to be healthy. And he has that mindset already. He does. Like, I'll ask him, what you want for breakfast? I want blueberries and cherries and cucumber. I'm like, you don't want any cereal, waffles, or pancakes? No. So I'm like, okay. it's a cool thing. And then when he goes to school, he like, I have the vegan. I don't want the beef or the pork because we don't eat beef or pork. So it's instilled in him. Again, it starts here. And it starts young. I mean, if you have kids, it can change when you get older. Of course, you can always change your mindset. This is why I said it starts here, because even as adults, you can redo what you've already learned. They say unlearn what you've already learned. You can do that. It's never too late. That's why you see people in their 50s and 60s and they're working out and they got muscles and exercising. They just started building those muscles because they started eating right. They started exercising. So no, it's never too late. Woo, girl. Whew. I was getting ready to say something, but I know I don't know. I just love it. But people have to be ready for it. They have to be ready for it. I mean, I've counseled so many people in regard to just helping them with their lifestyle change. And you'd be surprised how many people are just addicted to what they're doing and they don't want to change that. So every habit takes time to get rid of. They say do it for 21 days and then you'll be used to not doing that, but forming a new habit. But, it's a process. It's a process. I don't tell people to quit anything cold turkey. Let's just do it in steps, in moderation. Let's just, see what you can tolerate, just one thing at a time. So, that's what I do when I meet with my, my clients, and we talk about it to see where their struggles are, to see, why they have those struggles. So, a lot of things stem from childhood too. People overeat. They just mentally can't get something out of their mind that is causing them to do some of the habits that they've been doing all the years. Or it just could be habitual because they've been doing it for so long. So it depends on each individual because everybody is different, but it definitely starts in the mindset, which is why holistic is so important, because it's the whole body.
Yeah. And on top of that, how we were raised, but also what society keeps feeding us.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a whole nother story here. Because when we were growing up, I know my mom, she cooked. They got in the kitchen, they cooked meals. Going to fast food was a treat. That wasn't like your meal every day.
Like, please, I want a burger.
Right. Oh, fast food. It was like a treat, but they grew their food. They had gardens. My grandmother, my mother, they had gardens. I started a garden. I grow my cucumbers and they come out so nice and big. And I mean, my mom, she passed away, but Lord, if she saw me now, she'd be like, what, girl? You growing your food? Because she used to have me go in the backyard and I had to pick the stuff off. I'm like, I want to go play. I don't want to be picking no vegetables, But now, oh my God, I would just live for that because that is like the best way of living. But, the food, when you mentioned that, society pushes that food on us, and it's because of convenience. People are always busy. They're, ripping and running, doing this, going here, and they have to get there quickly. So they just grab something that's quick, fast food, processed foods, all the chemicals that go into foods that are processed. It's just not good for our body. And that's where, a lot of the sickness and illness has come in because people are eating that's just not good for our bodies. Your living foods, your fruits, your vegetables. Where is that? Are you getting enough of those minerals in your body? Which is why the sea moss is good. Now, let me just put this disclaimer out there because of my company. I am not a doctor, okay? I don't diagnose, I don't treat, I don't do I got to put that out there because, people, when you talk about alternative, methods, they're like, well, I don't know. But, what I use is 100% organic, wild crafted, no fillers, no preservatives, and everything is handmade. I do everything strictly myself, handmade. So I take what I do very seriously. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but you know what? I help people become healthy, and that's the key. That's the key. Just getting them to, learn how to prep meal, do the, we talked about meal prep. I don't, teach that, but it's something that is good for people to do if they are busy. Prepare your meals in advance, put it in the freezer and then just warm it up, cook it. So it's definitely a lifestyle change. And I think that's why a lot of people fall back on their New Year's resolution, is because they expect so much so quickly, and then they give up by the time February rolls around. And that's because you're looking for a quick fix instead of a lifestyle change.
Yes, and it goes back to that mentality. Will you do this even if you don't
Yeah,
lose weight?
right, right. And
Do
the
you
thing is, if you're
find
doing the right thing, if you're doing the right thing, the weight will come off. Right? Okay. So if you're starting to eat right, if you stop eating the things that are making you gain the weight, let's start there. What are you eating that's making you gain the weight? Can you eliminate that, or can you do that in moderation? What can you replace it with? And,
yes.
and again, it is a process. So, people quit by February, March. Okay, let's try this thing again next year. No,
That's
no, let's
true.
work on it now.
That's funny because we sure enough do start the year 2023. This gonna be the year. This gonna be the year by
Yes,
March. Okay,
yes. Didn't you say that like in
2024.
2022 and 2021 and 2020? And it was so funny because during COVID, when everybody was on lockdown, a lot of people gained weight because they started eating and snacking, and it was not much they could do. And when I returned to the office, they looking at me like, okay, why you still look the same? You ain't gained no weight. What's going on? Because I already had that lifestyle change. I already had the habit of eating right, and you could exercise at home instead of sitting down watching TV. How about running place while you're watching TV? How about doing some jumping jacks while you're watching TV? I mean, there are so many things that you can do. But we as a society, when we finish ripping and running, we come home, we're like, I'm tired. I'm just going to sit here on this sofa.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And those are the things that you have to change.
yeah. And it's interesting you say that because I last week I just did a little blurb on or a conversation about the inconvenience of self care.
Yeah.
It's going to
Hmm.
feel inconvenient at first because you have to change patterns, you have to change habits. It's inconvenient to take my whole Sunday to meal prep for the week, to make my
Yeah.
own fast food. It's inconvenient to come home for work and work out or get up early to work out, but these are the things our body naturally need.
Yes.
It's kind of like flipping it. It's kind of like, no, I'm going to do what my body needs, and then everything else will
Hmm.
follow from there. I'm going to do what my
Right.
mind needs, and then everything else flows from there. Um,
Right.
and so I really love that approach. And so one thing I do want to make sure we touch on before you leave, and you guys won't have to have Audrey back because you just, how you say stuff is just like, oh my goodness. And that's one thing I love about you because how you say it, it clicks. So many people can say the same thing, but when you say it, it clicks. It's like, oh
Well,
my
I'm
gosh,
glad. I'm glad to hear that.
it works.
I'm happy to hear that because I'm here for you and your listeners. This is not about me. It's about what they need, and I want to help as many people as I possibly can, because we're killing ourselves. We're killing ourselves. And like I said, if you're not eating right, you're not moving your bowels, you're holding all that bad stuff in, not good. I had one gentleman tell me that he hadn't moved his bowels in days. And I was like, no, 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 no. We gotta do something about this. So I gave him the detox. I told him what he needed to do. And he went to the doctor and he came back to me and he was like, oh, my doctor said my blood pressure went down. And he was like, what are you doing? And I said, praise God. Praise God. I said, we have to clean you out.
Look, that's the pressure cooker. You put in all that
Yeah,
compressed
right.
soup. Your blood
until it explodes.
That's the exactly. I pooped like but that's that going back to basics. That's that trusting your body to do
Yeah.
what it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do naturally. And
Oh my
so
goodness.
when we're even talking about that as women, we're going to segue a little bit because one thing that I hear a lot because of convenience, because of the society, because of fear,
Mhm.
because of a
Yeah.
mindset,
Yeah.
childbirth has become such a negative vibe. I'm gonna say it like that, right?
Mm.
Because if I say, "Oh yes, I have to go give birth," the natural reaction from people isn't, "Oh my goodness, you about to experience something so beautiful." It's, "Ooh, that's gonna hurt." Ooh, what date is your C-section scheduled for? You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
but that is coming from we don't trust our body. We're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
encouraged to let our body go the way it's going. And so I wanted to give a moment for you to share your story that you share with me that I think it's so amazing because, after not being able to conceive, after miscarriage and stuff like that, you can get to this place. And I'll speak for myself, not for you, but you can get into this place where I don't trust my body to do what it's supposed to do. And then you finally get the baby or get pregnant. And now you want me to trust it again to get this baby out, especially if it feels like the doctor's sitting right there with, a knife and a fork. Are you ready for the C-section? You know what I
Mm.
mean? What advice would you give to a woman to encourage her to trust her body in the giving birth, being pregnant process?
Yeah, I remember the days when you and I had conversations. We was cleaning the church and talking about conceiving, and it's amazing how I remember the doctor saying you wasn't going to have any kids, and look at you now. You have four. It's like that's a blessing. Now the doctor never told me that I would never. Don't make me laugh. You're so silly. Yeah, that's what I miss about you. Um, but yeah, the doctor never said that I could never have kids or not have kids. Now, God told me when I was in my early 20s that I would have a baby. But how many of us, when we don't see it coming to pass, we try to take matters into our own hands, right? So, you know, I had to trust God. I had to, it, and I know we haven't touched on this yet, but um, well, I'm just going to talk about
Go ahead.
answer your
Yeah, go
question.
ahead.
So, when I became pregnant, you talking about trusting your body. I remember an incident that happened. The My doctor sent me to another doctor who does the ultrasound, the OB ultrasound, and everything was great. Now, my pregnancy was good. I didn't have any morning sickness. Unfortunately, my husband did, but I didn't have any morning sickness. He was like, "Oh, I'm like, better you than me because I'm carrying, so I don't need the sickness." But it was a great experience. I mean, I was running around, like I wasn't even pregnant. It was just great. So when I went to the doctor, everything was always good. The fluids was good. The baby was good. Everything was vibrant, right? As soon as I hit full term, the doctor said, "You're at full term, so let's go ahead and take the baby out." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "My water has not broken yet." He's like, "No, but you are full term." And I said, "No, I'm not going to have the baby until my water breaks." And so he said to me during the next visit, because he see that I wasn't willing to do that, during the next visit, he said, "Well, the baby isn't growing as fast as we would like him to be." And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Just last week you said he was a good size, he was vibrant, he was moving, everything was good." And he was like, "Well, I think if we go ahead and do the C-section and do the delivery, if anything is wrong or he's not where he needs to be, we could put him in NICU." I'm like, "What? Okay, wait a minute. My body is NICU. This is the human developer right here." So I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that because why should I let my baby go into NICU to finish developing when he could stay inside of me and finish developing the way God has intended this process to be?" Now, I have to go with how I'm feeling. We have
Nope.
maternal instincts. And based on also what the doctor had been telling us, everything is good, everything is fine. But now that term, you find all these issues. Now, my baby was born on Christmas Day. So it was the best gift ever. So I'm like, okay, so this was like a few weeks before then. So I'm like, okay, do you want to take the baby now because the
Right.
holidays are coming? You need the money. I mean, what is it? Because you're rushing this process and I'm not going to do it. So he was like, okay, well, my husband and I, we talked about it. He was like, okay, we don't understand what's going on. So my husband, he's like, well, just increase your protein. So I started eating more protein and I'm just like, I don't understand how within a week he's telling me our baby's not growing. This makes no sense. Oh, and I also asked him, I said, well, can you go ahead and test it again to see if the baby has grown? He said, well, no, it won't be accurate if I do it because it depends on how the baby's laying. And I'm okay, so that makes no sense to me because inaccurate based on how he's laying if you're saying he's not gaining weight. So it was just a weird thing to me. But I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So he said, okay, since you're not going to do it, won't you come in twice a week so we can, monitor you? Okay, fine. So I said, I'll do that. So I had to trust my body, Kia, and don't try to take my baby and put it in NICU when he's already in the best environment he needs to be in. And I'm going based on what you already told me is that everything is fine. You told me everything is fine. He's growing, the fluid's fluid, whatever. So then maybe about I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, he said, okay, I want you to go to the hospital. Fluids look like they're getting a little low. And I was like, okay, I don't know if this man is still telling me the truth or not, but okay, at this point, I feel like I'm ready. Okay. So I said, okay. So I, went to the hospital and the very next day, Kia, my water broke. My water broke. I said, now I'm ready. He's ready. I said, I had to trust my body. We can't always go by what the doctors say. And I'm not saying to discount what they say, because they have to test and do all that. But he wasn't giving me anything to go on. He wasn't giving me additional tests. He wasn't saying that, oh, well, we take this. No, okay, I'm going based on what you've already told me. The baby's fine. I feel fine. We just did an ultrasound. The baby's moving. The fluid looks good. That's what you just told me. So why you want to do a C-section and take the baby now? And then if he's not growing, you're going to put him in NICU. That made no sense to me. So anyway, when I delivered, my original doctor, he said, I can't believe the other doctor said that the baby wasn't growing. He said, this baby is 2 pounds bigger than what he said the baby was. Yes. Yes. 2 pounds bigger. I said, wow. Because he said the baby was like 4 pounds or whatever. He came out like 6 pounds. I'm like, man, come on. So, yeah, that's just trusting your body. And I'm not quick to do what, the doctors say, and I'm not being defiant or anything like that, but because I know how God worked this out, that I had to trust my body, I did trust what the doctor told me previously about the baby being okay, and then having that conversation with my husband, we just decide, hey, look, if you feel well and you don't feel like you want to do this and everything feels okay. But again, everybody is different. I'm just sharing my story, but everybody is different. You may have to, have that C-section right away. But he didn't give me no other option other than the fact that you're full term. You're full term. Let's take the baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And then
it goes back.
when I went to, because he had sent me to an appointment after that, and they wanted to do some stress tests and things like that. And so even the nurse, she was like, girl, you're full term. What you waiting on? Go ahead and have that baby. She's like, most people just want to get him out. I said, yeah, but my pregnancy is not a difficult one. So I'm okay carrying him until he tells me he's ready. And he did. He did. My water broke, and I was okay. Now I'm ready.
Yeah. So, you guys, Audrey has written a book, and I need you guys to not just get this book, but I need for you guys to understand that some things we can see on TV, some things, we can hear about, but it's something else when you're actually hearing it from the source. Because everybody can tell you every little thing, but if you're not taking it from the source, then you're not getting the full story. And Audrey has written a book that gives us the full story. And I'm so appreciative that you've done this because it gives us something tangible that we can touch, feel, and then also connect with you and ask these questions. And that's what I love because your book also ties in your business. Her book is called Ageless Blessings, and it goes into great detail about your experience, um, from giving birth, your testimony of your life, and everything that you've gone through that I know will help so many people in general, not just women, but people in general, because sometimes we think it's just us. Sometimes we
Hmm.
think we're the broken ones and that there's no hope, there's no way out. And so I love, and I'm so excited to read your book, you guys. It's coming. When is it coming out?
Well, I'm hoping
When
that
can
it'll come out the end of this month. I'm hoping
oh,
that I've already finished the cover. It's just being proofread right now, and then after that, it'll be ready. But Ageless Blessings, it I had some people read it already beforehand, and they say how it has truly blessed them, because society has us thinking that everything has to happen at a certain time. Okay, so when you graduate from high school, when you're going to college, so you graduate from college, when you're getting married, so then you get married. When you have your first kid, then you have the first kid. Oh, they need a playmate. When you're gonna have the second one, and it just never stops. And then when you have the second one, and then you have a third one, then a fourth one, and then then they start talking about you. Oh, you got all these kids. What's going on? It's like, you know what?
come
You
on.
can never win. You can never win. And the book is just like, God blesses us in His time, not society's time. So that's why it's called ageless blessings, because you could be any age at any time. Now, if I had stopped living based on what society said, I wouldn't have had my child after the age of 35. Some people, oh, you got to have your baby before 35. You got to get married before you got. Everything is a timeline, and they put so much pressure, especially on women, and that's why the mindset has to change. So the book is not just about, you know, um, me as a whole, but it's also helping others to work through their process. It's a workbook also. Like, so when you hear me talk about my issues, let's talk about yours. Like, what's stopping you? What's hindering you? What are the issues that you're having? And in the book, we work through that. So, I've had men, it's not just for women, but I had, a couple of men that read it, and they said, wow, this is something that could really help people. So, and like I said, when I started this interview, that's what it's all about. It's like helping others. It's like, that's what it's about. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
So we're gonna have you back once the book is out, and we'll do a proper book release once the book is out.
Oh, that would
Um,
be nice.
but I Yes, because I mean, you guys, you can't help but to love Audrey, but to
Mm,
be able to tie it all in, because even in this conversation, we talked about holistic living, alternative methods, trusting our body to do what it needs to do, and
yes.
trusting proper timing. It's not about what's inconvenient. It's not about rushing things. It's about slowing down, trusting, and knowing,
Mm-hmm.
the process is going to be and doing what we need to do properly. And so I love the idea of your book, especially because you help people work through it. It's okay. Let's stop for a moment and let's look at the full picture. Let's correct the mindset. Let's ask ourselves the hard questions, because you might ask yourself a hard question, like I had to do here recently. Like, I was working out like a mad woman. I need to get back to my pre-baby weight. hold up, I kind of like being a little thick. You know what I mean? So when you say to me, well, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to look
Mm-hmm.
good. I want to look good for who? Well,
Right.
dang, when I was single, it was to look good to get a husband. But my husband, you know what I mean? He likes the plush. So
Hey,
I'm
that's
putting,
right.
so it's like
And
I'm
it
putting
goes
all this.
back to doing what society wants you to do. But what do you and your family want? And that's to be healthy, you know? You don't have to be a size 5. You could be a size 10 or 12 and still be happy. You know,
Okay.
yeah, they have us so messed up. If you want to be a size 12, you can. And 15, 16, who cares as long as you're healthy and you look well, you know? So,
And you
my
feel
whole
good
family
about
is, yeah, my whole family is into fitness, you know? We've just always been that way, even my husband. So, um, yeah, it's great. But what I would like to do for your listeners is that, I want to help them as well. And one way that I can help them is by giving them a free consultation. So if they can email me, and it's a healthyyoutoday@gmail.com, and we'll put it in the comments and just put free
it.
consultation. Even if you know, hear this months later, because I know you heard it through Kia's, Mommy Mondays, we'll give you a free consultation. Um, to help you get on the road to healthiness and to um, have that lifestyle change. Let's see how we can help you to be a better you, to be a healthy you. So,
Now,
and the
how you gonna
company just,
start? Go ahead.
and I was just saying that, the company just evolved because, people, like I said before, they just come to me asking me, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? So I'm starting also a fertility group. So those who want to conceive, those who want to have a baby, because, we had that problem, right? So I have herbs that, I can help you get on the right path, but, let's do the process. So, again, for your listeners, if they email me and put fertility in the subject line, we will, put them in that fertility group and, see again through the consultation how we can help them. So, you know, let's help the people get healthy. Let's help the people get what they want and be a healthier you.
I don't know how you did this, but you started me off with a tear, and now I'm about to finish with some tears. It feels like we're so gun ho, especially on social media, about looking a certain way, and the people that
Hmm.
are actually willing to do the work with and for you, and that really have the passion, don't get the looks. You know what I mean? Don't get the support. And I just really love and appreciate you so much for offering it to the followers of Mommy Mondays, because
Oh,
it's not
welcome.
about, because if it's not about just saying stuff. It's about being there for one another, taking care of one another, that there really are people and women out here that aren't trying to one up you, that really just want to love and care for you. Ain't trying to tell you what to do just to tell you what to do. But it's like, look,
Right,
I've walked this journey too, and this is what I've learned, and this is what I do as a passion, not just as a profit.
right, right.
And
Yes.
so thank you so much, you guys. You guys go to www.ahealthyyoutoday.com is right there underneath Audrey. Check out the website. She has all her capsules, everything that's right there. Get your free consultation. And if you are looking to conceive, email, put fertility in a subject line, like she said, and we'll put all this in the comments too. Get the help that you need, the right way, the healthy way, so that you could be the best mom, not just, yes, for your family, kids, but for you.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes.
And so I thank you so much for being with us today. I am looking forward to having you back for your book release. And just however many times we can get you back, because we need you, girl.
Look, Kia, thank you so much. It was an honor being your guest today. I mean, when you asked me, it was no hesitation. Sure, yes, no problem. I love you.
I love you too, you guys. I love you too, Audrey. And you guys, with that, we're going to leave y'all with the love vibe, the love feels. Praying that you have a
Yeah.
wonderful day on purpose. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.